Well, you know, in Hindu philosophy, there's the divine trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Brahma, the creator, who brings new things into existence. Vishnu, the preserver, who nurtures and sustains. And then, of course, there's Shiva, the destroyer, who clears the path to make space for something new. Letting go is the purest and the most necessary form of destruction. And it is the one thing that we struggle with the most. We create, we hold on to things, we try to make things work, but when it doesn't align with our path any longer, that is when Shiva steps in. Letting go is not about chaos. It's about creating space for what's truly meant for us. And that is my superpower, the ability to let go. Well, ever since I was a child, I've realized that the one strength I've had is the ability to let go. The moment I felt that I'd put in so much of work, I've done everything I could, but things didn't work out, when I felt that my purpose didn't align with my path any longer, when I felt that I wasn't growing anymore, I could just let go. And no, it was not easy. There was pain, there was anger, there was fear even. But I just had this switch in me. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't put any more energy into this. And just like that, weight would be lifted off my shoulder, space would be created, and something new would always show up. When I was a teenager, I was studying in Singapore and life was great. But then, I wanted to become an actor. And so I moved to Mumbai to be part of Bollywood. And I had big plans. I was determined I'm going to make it big. But I had this very fixed perception about what success meant to me, about what kind of work would bring me success. And so I rejected a lot of opportunities that came my way. And in doing so, I lost out on a lot. And then I also fell in love. And so everything about my life became about my relationship. My work, my passion, my dreams, everything took a backseat. And one day, I woke up and I just realized that I wasn't losing opportunities anymore. I was losing myself. And I had to make a decision. The decision to move on. And no, it was not easy, really. I mean, I was part of the industry for more than 15 years. I didn't know anything else. I mean, I didn't have any plans, I didn't have any backup. But I just knew that something would definitely show up. And surely something did. A few days later, I saw an ad for a yoga teachers training program, and that too, it was happening so close to my house. I was like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to sign up for this. And I had so much of interest in meditation. I wanted to learn all about manifestation. I wanted to understand energy, but I never knew where to start. And just imagine, just like that, the path revealed itself. And when it did, that is when I truly understood the power of letting go. That single decision made in the middle of what felt like loss is what completely transformed my life. And so I want you to remember that when you've tried your best, you've given your 100%, you've tried everything, but something isn't working out, whether it's your job, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a version of yourself you're clinging on to, it's time to let go. And I also want to talk about relationship here because that's another part we really struggle with. And I'm not talking about letting go of relationships, I'm talking about letting go of expectations we have from others. We expect so much from others, the way they should love us, the way they should be there for us, the way they should talk to us, right? But we often forget that just like we have free will, so do they. And so they have their own perception about how they want to love you, be there for you. So stop trying to control every situation, every person, everything. Because the more you go with the flow, the easier life becomes, the more opportunities come your way. And I also want to talk about failure here because that's another thing we love to hold on to. And when it comes to exams, right? Like one bad grade, one bad experience, and then we let that go to our subconscious and we let this one experience control us our entire life. Don't do that. Let it go. One failure does not define you. But yes, you need to learn the lesson, right? You need to understand, why did I fail? What did I do wrong? And what can I do better? You need to learn the lesson, but don't hold on to the failure. Because when you let go, that's when you create space for success. And so I want to share with you this ATB that I practice. A for acceptance. You need to accept. When the time comes when you realize that, like I said, you've tried everything, you've given your 100%, but nothing seems to be working out. It's time to let go. So accept. It's time to let go. And when you let go, don't think it's permanent, because remember, the only thing constant in life is change. So it's not permanent, but it's for this moment. Like for me, I left acting when I felt like good work was not coming my way. I didn't want to settle for anything less. But that does not mean that I've given it up forever. I mean, what if something shows up 10 years down the line? I might just take it up. So letting go is not permanent, but it's needed for that moment, because it's not serving your purpose any longer. And then comes T. Trust the process. You need to trust the process, you need to trust yourself, and you need to trust that something better, something bigger is coming your way. And that brings us to the last part of it, B. Be open. You need to be open to opportunities, because that's another part that we are so scared of. When there's a change, you're like, am I going to make it? Am I going to do well here? Am I going to fail again? Right? But don't think about that. Seize that opportunity. Because when you keep that space that you just cleared open for too long, that's when regret will sing. So you don't want to do that, okay? Take that opportunity. So remember, ATB. A, accept that it's time to move on. T, trust the process. This is happening for the best. And of course, B, be open to opportunities, because what's meant to be will be. So now I leave you with this. Shiva the destroyer is also the one who liberates. He's the one who creates the space for us so that we can create whatever we want. And that's the most difficult, that's the most beautiful, and the most rewarding power of all. So, if you can master the art of letting go, you will never fear change, you will never fear loss, because you know every ending is the beginning of something greater. Thank you.